I thought the best way to kick this off this morning was by telling you a bit of a story. So I'm going to tell you the story of Jorge Odon, who's a 59-year-old mechanic, car mechanic in Argentina. And the story begins with Jorge and his mate sitting around in the mechanic's workshop talking about a YouTube video that they'd seen the night before. And the video goes something like this, and I think this is a situation which many of us have seen before. So you're opening a bottle of wine, you get about halfway through opening the bottle and the cork breaks off. This is from the good old days when bottles were closed with corks. And you end up with half the cork stuck in the bottle. And of course, as I'm sure you know, the only way to get to the wine and to get the wine to come out is to get the cork to go in. So it's a matter of pushing that cork right into the bottle. And this is pretty much where the story ends for most of us, because we drink the beautiful wine and we toss the bottle out. But this is a missed opportunity, because there's a fantastic party trick just waiting to be had right here. And that's, how do you get the cork out of the bottle without damaging either the cork or the bottle? Unless you've got really long, skinny hands, the answer to this is probably not really obvious. So I'll show you how Jorge and his mates solved this. So a regular shopping bag. You can see I'm just twisting it a little and now inserting it into the bottle. I'm sure you'll all agree we're just seeing in our lives this amazing advance in technology. There's all this disruption and innovation happening around us. And one of the areas that is changing is medical science. So all of us are going to live much longer. And what that's going to mean is we're probably going to be working for much longer in our careers as well. And that will entail reskilling. You'll probably have to reinvent yourself a number of times in your life. So the skills that you had when you came out of uni, as you know, are pretty much irrelevant today. And so we need to constantly be thinking about what that next skill set is that's relevant to how the world's changing. And so innovation is one of those skills. It's one of those things that human beings are particularly good at, and that you're probably better at than what you realize. And that's one of those life skills that you can take with you throughout your career as you reinvent yourself and reskill technically in other ways. Innovative, feisty businesses that grow so rapidly are really the net job growth engine of our economy. That's where our jobs come from. They don't actually come from startups in general, and they don't come from corporates who kind of hold most of our jobs. But all the net job growth comes from innovation and from companies that do innovative things and grow rapidly. So it's really important for us as individuals to be reskilling and thinking innovatively about what skill sets we need. It's important for organizations to keep regenerating those jobs and opportunities. And at a national level, for our country, it's important that we keep coming up with innovations, new products, services, experiences that can be exported to the world. That's what assures our place in the world and our economic prosperity, and the fact that we can keep having the kind of lifestyles that we have today. So with all of that, back to the bottle. So what we've got now is we've got this shopping bag inserted well into the bottle, and what I've done is I've just toggled our half cork down, so it's just lying in parallel to the plastic bag. And what I'm going to do now is just inflate this a little. And just let some of the air out. The wine's got to be gone at this stage, otherwise you're wasting. And there we go, our cork is out of the bottle. So I'm sure you're wondering, where did they get this guy, and why is he showing us corks coming out of bottles in the morning? The reason is that Jorge actually woke up the following morning and he said, you know what? This could be applied in a completely different space. And he was thinking about his aunt, who in fact had suffered nerve damage in childbirth. And the reason for that was it was actually an obstructed birth. So I don't know how much you know about childbirth, but I'll tell you what I know. It's going to take a very short time. 137 million births per year around the planet. Around 10% of those have complications, which means that about 6.5 million children are either stillborn or die immediately after childbirth. So a pretty somber topic, I know, particularly over breakfast. But, and with that, there are around 160,000 women that actually die in childbirth. It's not as much of a problem for us because we have great medical facilities. You know, we're living in a beautiful city with the best of everything in medical technology. But the place where it really hurts is out in the rural areas and the poorer areas on the planet where they don't have access. You know, that's not an option. If things go wrong in childbirth, the best they can do often is just using forceps, which if you've seen them, it's a giant set of pliers with rounded tips, and those get inserted into the birth canal onto the head of the infant, and they get used to pull the child out. And when the operator is not very skilled, lots of bad things can happen with that process. So Jorge, when he saw this YouTube party trick, he said, you know, this could actually be applied to a medical device. And he went off and started speaking to obstetricians and ended up perfecting a device, which I think we'll be able to show you. So that's where it started, and this is where it finished. So this is a device now that's being endorsed by the World Health Organization. Essentially, you can see it's a plastic bag, ultimately, that goes into the birth canal. It actually inflates around the baby's head, and then that gets used to pull the infant out without damaging anything in the process.